Okay, so we're recording. This is episode 4 of Useful Strategies to Combat Disruption. I'm Sarah from Screen Pages, and today I'm welcoming Ian from Klevu. Ian, I will let you introduce yourself because you'll do a better job, and also you'll do a better job of introducing Klevu. So please do go ahead.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for the invite. I've watched the last few of these episodes. Very very insightful, and hopefully today will be even it'll be in the same vein as everything else that you've been doing. Ian Scarr from Klevu. I'm the head of the UK, so I look after the team of 15 in the UK and all the sort of the trials and tribulations of being a SaaS company and looking after our merchants and ultimately our partners. Been in the software industry for a long time. This is probably the third major crisis that we've seen in these sorts of things. If anyone can remember the Millennium Bug, yes.
I can. I'm old enough.
Millennium Bug, financial crisis, 2008, 2009, and now we've got COVID-19. So definitely well versed with trying to sort of jump over the fiery hoops that these things sort of bring along. But what does Klevu do? Well, we are a search company, an on-site search company, I must clarify, that works with Magento, BigCommerce, Shopify, so any of the big e-commerce vendors that people are out there using. And what it does is it allows you to enhance that simple indexing search that you get with the native platforms and bring a level of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and just general enhancements to that initial search experience you're getting, because product discovery right now is even more important.
Yeah. Okay. So just to clarify for our viewers, your search allows people to find what they want on the website that they're actually on as quickly as possible. So if they're arriving to the homepage of a website versus coming straight into a product page, then they would typically type something into the search box. What are the sorts of things that can go wrong in that respect? Because nobody, from our experience with merchants, is nobody sort of understands how complicated organizing your search can be. So have you got some examples of a bad search experience for a consumer?
So a bad search experience for consumers are no results. So no results found, no results page. It's hugely important that you deliver a search result and as relevant a search result as possible. By indexing everything that's passed across from the e-commerce platform, whether that be the SKUs, the attributes, the content, the imagery, everything that comes through is indexed by a clever search platform like Klevu. And what that's doing is it's looking for the connectors between all those different things and the search queries that people are typing into the autocomplete. Now, type ahead search and autocomplete has been around for a long time. But as users start to use that and type ahead, they want to see an interactive search experience coming back and delivering a query that is relevant to them. Typically with not intelligent search tools, for example, or native search tools within platforms, it's literally just doing an index search. So it's a list search. And what it can't do is it can't connect together all the inferences that people are looking for, or all the cleverness of the different lengths of the query. So what it will try and do is look for a blue shoe, but it'll look for everything that's a blue, or everything that is blue, and everything that is a shoe, and return all those results. And it won't necessarily be relevant, see? So what Klevu does, and what other search companies do, is they start to stitch together the intent behind the searcher's query. So therefore, if you can understand that intent through learning about everyone's interaction on the website, then you're going to deliver a much more relevant search experience.
Okay, no, that's very useful. So one of the things that I find annoys me deeply is if, for example, I'm shopping for clothing and I misspell a brand name like Balenciaga or Gucci or something like that. And I know that merchant sells those products, not that I buy those sorts of products, they're too expensive for me, but it's very frustrating if you can't go straight to or get delivered the results you want, and you know, to lose a sale just because you've misspelt something seems a bit of a bit waste to me, because it's from our point of view as an e-commerce agency, if somebody is typing a query into a search box, they have a serious intent to buy, a serious intent to buy. So, you know, they're not just browsing for fun and having a look, they're looking for something. So that's a bit like going into a shop and saying, you know, can you show me where the trousers are? And then the shop saying to you, there are no trousers.
Or taking you to TVs rather than trousers.
Exactly. Deeply frustrating. So have you, just to sort of from a COVID-19 point of view, and I know everybody talks about this all the time, so it can be a little bit annoying, but have you noticed any particular sort of trends within your install base of companies using search, or is it sort of business as normal, or what have you guys noticed?
I think there's some common terms coming out now in this crisis, isn't there? Which is the normal, or the new normal, or the essentials, or the new essentials. So what's really interesting, and things that we've seen certainly at Klevu, but also talking to all of our partner organisations, is we're seeing similar trends come through, and that is, what are those new essential type of companies? So, you know, it's your cosmetics, it's your home and leisures, your cooking and baking, health food supplements, electronics, hobbies, anything that people can do while they're isolated at home. We're starting to see a big uptick of sales, and some of those companies are having to pivot to get online very, very quickly, which can be problematic sometimes. But obviously, with some of the initiatives that are going out there in the marketplace from certainly agencies and the software vendors, there's packages that are being pushed out there that people can pivot to go online very quickly. Now, on the flip side of that, you're starting to see the likes of fashion and clothing start to take a bit of a dip, but there is a bit of a resurgence of that coming back now, because people are becoming more and more confident with being isolated. They're starting to think, well, actually, I'm probably, there's some good offers around at the moment, so maybe I'll start shopping online for when we come out at the other end of this thing, so that hopefully when social distances is eased, we can actually start going and being the social animals that we are, and being interactive. So everyone will want to look nice for that. So I think there's a bit of an uptick now on some of the clothing stores, but there's massive growth in some of those new essential areas, and that's really interesting, because those companies, some of them were e-commerce ready and online ready, some of them weren't, and it's those that weren't are the ones that you're starting to see a lot of companies, and hopefully companies like yourself, are starting to see that new business come to them.
Yes, there's a massive education process that needs to take place, though. So we've seen a lot of wholesalers who were previously supplying, through retailers or restaurants, all of those businesses that have had to close, who are wanting to go direct to consumer. And what we're noticing is that they have no understanding of what a good and a bad user experience should be, other than their own personal experience of shopping online. So we're having to sort of advise them on what businesses that are used to trading online is sort of bread and butter to them. We're having to advise them on some very basic things, including that you have to offer customers, it's not just a case of putting up your catalogue of products, you have to offer them the ability to search, and also educating them a lot on the fact that most people are accessing websites for the first time from a mobile device, because they're starting their searches on a mobile device. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, is there, from our point of view, we think that the search experience on mobile needs to be better than on any other platform because of the sheer lack of real estate you have on a mobile device. And I wondered whether you had any insights in that respect as well.
You should always be designing your website to be mobile first. I think certainly nowadays, with the Klevu search technology, it can inherit the templates that are already built. Certainly from a Magento perspective, we can, if something is responsive, then we can make our search responsive, and we can adjust the search overlay, which is the drop down that initiates when you start searching. And that overlay is really important because there's lots of things that you can do in there. So making sure that that is consistent, and if not better than your normal web experience, is hugely important. So when someone is using that type of head search, the autocomplete that is standard, you can have lots of different things like product suggestions, even some personalization content that's relevant to that particular search query, but then also relevant products that are also relevant. And it's got to fit within that 6-inch, 7-inch sort of screen that you've got absolute maximum on some of those bigger phones that you've got right now. And it's got to look really, really good. So sexy search is a term that I use, and it's got to look like that. It's got to look really, really appealing on a mobile device. So those merchants that have done it well see huge conversions on their mobiles, on people's mobile devices.
Yes, because it's still a big challenge trying to sort of get the same kind of buying experience on a small screen as you would have on a big screen, because people have big fingers, the radio buttons are smaller, it's you're sort of catering for a wide variety of devices, so it can often be quite difficult. Would you recommend, for example, exposing having your search input field on a mobile device permanently exposed, or
Yes.
You would? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's no point in hiding it away. If it's the quickest and easiest way of finding a product you've got, because most people have a considered purchase, don't they? They've got an intent to buy.
Yeah.
And you want to go onto a mobile device and you want to be able to find that product really, really quickly to see if it's in stock. Even if you don't necessarily buy it through that mobile interaction, you still want to know it's there. Yeah. So the search box, nice and prominent at the very, very top. And if you look at some of the best examples of these, the made.coms of this world have got a fantastic search interaction, and the search bar is really, really prominent. And then the overlay drops down and takes up the whole screen. So therefore, you can then start to interact with all the things nice and simply. And if you've got big, huge hands like me and fat fingers, you can still get to those products and still have that nice experience. But it's also a relevant experience. So it's really engaging.
Yeah, no, it's really important actually. One of the bits of feedback that we get a lot from merchants is that that not that many people, not that big a percentage of their visitors are using the search box, and the feedback that we always give is it's probably because they don't know it's there, especially if they're coming in on a mobile device. We, as e-commerce professionals, assume that everybody knows that a looking glass icon, magnifying glass icon is the thing you need to click to get to search, but a lot of consumers still don't know that. So
and I think with some of the new consumers that are coming online now, because they have to, definitely don't know that. So therefore, it's really, really important that you do make your search box very, very prominent. Even on your normal website, the central part of your website is still the most prominent area, because that's naturally where people go to look.
Yeah.
Don't hide it away on the right or the left. Studies have shown that if it's on the right or the left, it won't convert as much, because you've got lots of other stuff going on those fringes. But that nice central point above your navigation bar, and all your navigation menus, you've got a nice prominent search box, you're going to get maximum amount of conversions from it. Then the trick is to obviously have the products that people want. So then connecting the two together is search is the vehicle to help you connect that. So.
Well, obviously, you have to have the right product at the right price at the right time, delivered in the right way. That's.
Do you know what? You've mentioned delivery, and that's one of the most common things that people hard code into their overlays nowadays. Because before they buy something, people are generally going to check out your delivery times. And I know at the moment it's all messed up, isn't it? But typically they're going to see if it's a next day, is it within this week, what is it? Is it free? Is it $4.99? What is that delivery mechanism, and how long does it take before they buy from you?
Yeah, so that's important. And just one question we get a lot from merchants is, well, so what if I'm sort of providing this fantastic search and they find, they can't sort of find the product that they're looking for because it's currently out of stock, or we can't fulfill it, or something like that. How can Klevu help in that respect? Does it have some way of offering alternatives, or?
Yeah, so there's some good intelligence that sits behind Klevu that will match a product to that particular query that is the most relevant, based upon past user behavior, based on your past user behavior as well, as we're now rolling out some more personalization within the platform. But it's also looking at the most popular, so the most popular from a click perspective, but also from a purchase perspective. So if that one product that you search for is not necessarily in stock, the next best available product will be then shown to you, either in the overlay and or in the search results page, because obviously there is a click beyond the overlay on that initial search experience. And then you've got all sorts of tools that you can sit behind there. You talked about no results pages and things like that earlier. We've got synonyms that can connect things together as well, and that can be done manually within the Klevu Merchant Center. But then there's the intelligence of the automated ranking within the search results pages. And then you've also got the ability as a merchant, if you're starting to see some interesting things in the analytics, to start promoting products to the very, very top of those results pages. So that's really, really key to make sure that you are using the information that your purchasers are telling you and using it from a business perspective on a tactical basis, so you can actually start to merchandise those results pages as well.
Yeah, so it's a bit, I suppose, like in a sort of physical store type scenario, it's a bit like the sales assistant saying, well, we don't have that particular cut of meat at the moment because we've sold out, but we can offer you this because it's really good. And customers have liked this, or, you know.
Always use that analogy when you're talking about search. It's if you go into a shop, it's your virtual shop assistant on your online store, because it's there. It's getting friendlier, because obviously it's becoming a more of an experience. So it's like talking to that really knowledgeable person that is going to take you to that particular group of products or that particular product that you want to buy, because you've given them some basic information. And the really smart shop assistants in stores, in physical stores, hopefully there'll be some left after this crisis, are the ones that get you and get that sale. Yeah, the ones that are completely disinterested, you go in, you bounced off, you're out the door, aren't you? And it's just the same thing with a search tool. You know, if you're not providing the right relevancy for that particular search query, that question in the store, then you're going to lose the sale, and people are going to go off and find your competitors on the rest of the internet. So yeah, it's hugely important. I always use that analogy when I'm talking about Klevu.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good one. So anyway, I'm conscious of the time, because time is of the essence at the moment, as you know. With everything, it seems that whilst we're all at home, you know, working at home, we still are expected to get everything done almost even quicker, because we're not in a car going to and from work, and you have to be constantly available. And everybody knows it's a bit like you no longer have to worry about when you deliver something, if you're delivering something to somebody's house, because you know they're always going to be in anyway. Just bearing in mind that we need to sort of finish up, what's been your personal experience of sort of having to work virtually now, and have you got any sort of thoughts that you would like to share from your personal point of view, but also from the whole team at Klevu on this whole situation?
We took an initiative. So Nilo's our CEO and I, right at the very beginning of this whole crisis, about a week before, maybe even week and a half before the country went into lockdown, we started to feel there was a resistance from the team to having to be traveling around London. London's a big microcosm of lots and lots of people and lots of very close transportation. You start to see a few face masks, didn't you, appearing, and people were starting to get a bit nervous. So we took the decision about a week and a half or so before the official announcement to go into lockdown to tell everybody to work from home. Now, we've always had a flexibility of working from home as well. So most people would probably work from home once a week anyway. So people are set up for that. And we've always had that flexibility. And I think that's key, I think, for any sort of modern workplace, to be able to allow people to work from home. So the transition to doing that wasn't so bad. I think it was the whole psychology of the whole thing of being told, now you've got to stay at home. Yes. I think was the thing that people struggled with a little bit more. And then the fact that you were home every single day then meant that you had to start thinking, right, so from my own personal experience, I live in Bedfordshire, so I used to come into London, have about an hour and a quarter, hour and 20 minutes, probably travel door to door. So I used to read books, and I used to that was my switch on and switch off time.
Yes.
Going into the office and or catch up or triage emails or whatever it was. Now that time, I've got that back into my day, but I'm finding that I'm squeezing more work into that time rather than that relaxation side of things. So I think the tips from my perspective, and certainly what I've been trying to get the team to do, is obviously try and get a routine and be disciplined about it. One of my team, I had a one-on-one with them the other day, and she said at 5 o'clock every day I have a gin and tonic. I was like, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, if that's your way, switch it up. Brilliant,
Yeah.
And I think regular exercises and breaks and food and drink is important. So to keep punctuating your day with eating and drinking, because you can get very, very focused and shut into your own little area. And then family and friends, I think that's really, really important. Even if you haven't got close family around you, I've got 2 kids, and my wife's fantastic. And very, very flexible, even though she's a teacher and she has to go in now every 10 days or so because she's having to teach the kids the key workers. My daughter's just done her A-levels. She's a TA, so she's going in every 7 days or so and doing the same thing. So they're disappearing off. But my son's 14, and trying to get him into a routine of working at home whilst I'm working from home, he then sneaks off and goes and plays Fortnite or something like that. So it's like getting them back to do that. So that I'm quite lucky because I've got lots of distractions to sort of break away. So I think people that are on their own is find those distractions by making sure you're connecting up with people. And the great thing about the new normal, we'll go back to that phrase, is it's video, isn't it? And just making sure you're talking. And that's really important.
Yeah, seeing people's faces, I think, is really important. So I think it's going to revolutionize the whole sort of video conferencing aspect of doing business. That's my prediction, is that we'll all be having meetings like this instead of traveling, which would be good for the environment.
I think so. I don't know, business travel could all these big airlines with expensive business seats could be in a bit of a problem. You don't necessarily need to go to America every month or whatever, because you can do this and it's just as effective. Yeah,
I agree. So anyway, thank you so much for spending the time talking to me.
It's a
pleasure. What's the best thing for merchants to do if they want to find out more about Klevu?
Go onto the website, so www.klevu.com. Look at the various different things. Whichever platform you're on, there is a tab on the website that can take you to that particular platform and give you the information about the different packages that we provide. And if you're already on the platform, you can then go into the different consoles within that particular platform and download Klevu and start the process of getting up and running really, really quickly. If you want to preserve your Magento layout, we can do that. If you want to take our out-of-the-box overlays, we can do that as well and get you spooled up really, really quickly. If you want to be a bit more complex and a little bit longer time, then we can do that as well. So it's about how long's that piece of string and how quick you want to be. But the website's got loads of information. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks again, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much, Sarah. I'll talk to you soon. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, and stay safe, everybody. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.